Right, so I'm making this video off the back of Brentford's 3-1 victory over Liverpool at the Brentford Community Stadium tonight, and yeah, I'm just using that result as an excuse basically just to talk about Brentford, because who doesn't like Brentford, right? I mean, they're a likeable club, they're a well-run club, and yeah, as a matter of fact, actually, one second. I bet you weren't expecting this from a guy with a Chelsea flag on his wall, but I've got a Brentford jersey with the GOAT Ivan Toney on the back of it, and yeah, just a bit of context as to why I got that jersey. I basically only got it because I love Ivan Toney, he's just the GOAT in my eyes, and the reason why I love him is because, yeah, I discovered he was good before he was actually good, because on Football Manager, I think it was 2020, I made a save with Queen's Park Rangers, I signed Ivan Toney from Peterborough, and he just banged me to the Premier League with his goals, and ever since I've loved him. I've just followed his journey throughout the leagues, and yeah, now I really hope he signs for Chelsea. Sorry Brentford fans, but at least we can share our love for Ivan Toney. But yeah, like I said, I just chose to make a video on Brentford tonight because I just think that they're an absolutely incredible club, and I think they embody everything that you want in a modern day football club at this moment in time, especially for the fans. I mean, you saw the scenes once again at the end there, the vibe around the club, the mood around the club at this moment in time, and for the last while really, since they got promoted and even before that, it's just absolutely immaculate really. And yeah, I mean, everyone thought, myself included, that, you know, with the loss of Christian Eriksen in the summer, that maybe they might suffer from second season syndrome, which of course does tend to hit quite a few teams really in the Premier League in recent years. But no, I mean, they've gone from strength to strength really with Eriksen, which I was quite surprised about. But they're currently 7th place in the Premier League, they're 6 points off top 4, which I just find absolutely ridiculous really. And yet they've played every single one of the top 6 clubs at this moment in time so far this season, and only Arsenal have beaten them, because they've beaten Manchester City away from home right before the World Cup, and of course tonight they've done it over Liverpool. And yeah, we're quite unlucky not to beat Spurs, and even though they drew with us, they probably shouldn't have beaten us, because as a Chelsea fan I can quite safely say we are shit. And yeah, I just thought they've done absolutely brilliant so far this season, especially dealing without Christian Eriksen. And as you remember, Brentford fans, when Christian Eriksen did come into you last January, you were on quite a poor run of form, and I just thought that with losing Christian Eriksen, I was just thinking, where might Brentford get their creativity from now with Christian Eriksen out of the team? But honestly, you've gone from strength to strength, like I said, sitting 7th in the Premier League, 6 points off top 4, ahead of us in the league, which as I said is not hard to do, but fair play. And yeah, I just think Thomas Frank has just got the absolute perfect combination and balance in his style of football that he does deploy. I think that they play a system with players that involve, you know, moving the ball around on the ground, but also they know when to be resolute, they know when to knock a ball up long to Toney to head it down to someone like Mbeumo or Wissa when he comes on. I just think that he's got the absolute perfect balance in terms of the football they play. Yeah, in the fact that they, you know, they can play both ways. And yeah, like I said, I mean, first of all, you go for David Raya in goal, who I think is an absolutely top quality keeper, and I would definitely take a Chelsea to replace Kepa in the Chelsea team, to be honest, because I think not only is he a very good shot stopper, as he's proven in the Premier League so far in his time in the Premier League, but also he's very good with the ball at his feet, which is exactly what an elite level goalkeeper needs at the top level. Then you have the back three. I mean, this just shows Thomas Frank's elite level managing ability. He has masterminded these wins mostly this season without Christopher Ayer and without Pontus Jansson, who would usually start for them, with a back three that cost less than £1 million, which in modern day football is just absolutely obscene. You have Matthias Jorgensen, who cost nothing, you have Ben Mee, who cost nothing and came from a team who don't play the prettiest football, you know, supposedly anyway, and then you have Ethan Pinnock in the middle, who came from Forest Green Rovers for, I want to say, like less than even £500,000. Brentford fans, correct me in the comment section below. But yeah, they've been so solid defensively with that back three. I mean, Ben Mee especially has been absolutely brilliant since he's come into Brentford on a free transfer every time I've watched Brentford. Then you have the pace of Rico Henry on that left wing back spot, who essentially adds another dynamic going forward and adds that extra option in the final third. Then you have Roerslev on the other side, of course. Aaron Hickey is injured at this moment in time, so Roerslev's come in, not put a foot wrong, and does act as that almost other defender to, you know, cover when Rico Henry does go forward, if that makes sense. And then in the midfield, you have a really resolute midfield, but also very good in the ball technically, with Norgard, who, you know, anchors the midfield, sits at the base of the midfield. And if you look at literally every single defensive stat, and I'm not one for stats myself, but if you look at literally every single stat in the Premier League with regards to, you know, defensive capabilities, Christian Norgard is in the top 3, if not top, of nearly every single stat, which I just find absolutely remarkable and shows his qualities in the Brentford team. Matthias Jensen's a brilliant footballer. Vitaly Janelt is also a very good footballer, but also has an engine on him and does a bit of the dirty work, so he's able to do it all really. Then up front you've got Ivan Toney, who in my opinion is one of, if not the best and most complete striker in the Premier League behind Harry Kane. I just think he's got absolutely everything in terms of playing the ball to his feet. His back to goal ability is very good, he's absolutely unbelievable in the air, and yeah, I just think his link up play is very good, and obviously he's you know, quite gritty and can go in for a 50-50 if you need him to as well. So I just think Ivan Toney has got absolutely everything. And then you've got someone who's a little bit smaller and more nippier like Brian Mbeumo, Mbumo or Yohan Wissa, who both obviously were on the score sheet tonight, playing alongside Ivan Toney, so obviously it gives them that ability for Ivan Toney to nod the ball down to him, or gives them the ability to obviously, you know, play that long ball, pierce the ball through if they need a bit of pace to get on the end of an attack. And yeah, I just think that Thomas Frank has found the absolute perfect balance in terms of everything in the Brentford squad, really. Not only that as well, but they've just got an absolutely obscene record from set pieces. I mean, as a Chelsea fan, literally every time we play Brentford, every time they get a set piece, and just not only Chelsea fans, every time Brentford play a team and they concede a set piece, you're worried that they're going to concede a goal. It's simple as that. I mean, Brentford's record from set pieces is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, Ivan Toney's goal against Tottenham on, you know, Boxing Day really sums up Brentford's abilities from corners, where they get that man to nod it onto the back post and then get the second ball touch on it, and yeah, obviously ended up being a goal. Brentford are so prolific at that kind of thing. And yeah, even on a game like tonight where every single person and their nan wrote off their chances without Ivan Toney, and I think it actually suited them perfectly having Wissa and Mbumo up front, because obviously both are a little bit nippier, have that little bit more pace against Liverpool's ridiculously high line, which I think is getting a little out of hand at this moment in time, and especially when they don't have Konate, even though they did tonight, especially when they don't have Konate, I think they're very vulnerable at the back with that high line, because they've got little to no pace really with Van Dijk and Matip at centre back, even though they've got a little bit of pace, but it's very gettable with the high line, especially when you have two fast attackers like Mbumo and Wissa. And I don't think it was any coincidence whatsoever that both of them found themselves on the score sheet tonight. And yeah, we'll finish off this video by just quickly saying, Thomas Frank, when is he going to be linked with the top jobs? And personally, I don't want him to go. I think that there's a very good project for him at Brentford that I think he should stick with. I think there's a very good chance in the next few years, if he stays there and gives his word to Brentford, that he could maybe get them into European football, which would just be absolutely unbelievable. And I think there's a chance there and a possibility there for him, and a gap in the market to make himself an absolute hero at Brentford, a cult hero. And I think that he should definitely stay there, build the project, because Brentford are a very well-run club. They've got a very good transfer strategy. The recruitment is very good, as I said, and yeah, the overall vibe around the club is absolutely brilliant as well. But like I said, I mean, it's going to be only a matter of time before the big clubs start calling for Thomas Frank. No disrespect to Brentford, but will he be able to resist turning them down? Who knows? But yeah, I do kind of hope he stays at Brentford, just to, you know, foresee that future at that project at Brentford, because I just think he's an absolutely brilliant manager, as I alluded to already and as I raved about already. I don't need to go too much into it about the football he plays, the absolute perfect balance he's got in that dynamic of football, and also the fact as well that he has proven time and time again since he's, you know, been managing in the Premier League, that he is very capable of improving these Brentford players, because most of these Brentford players, you forget, actually were in the Championship and came up from the Championship with them, and nearly all of them have become better players since they've started playing in the Premier League because of Thomas Frank and his coaching. And yeah, I just think he's an absolutely brilliant manager, and I personally think he's one of the best managers in the Premier League. So Brentford fans, leave in the comment section below, have I hit the nail on the head with everything I've said in this video, or am I talking absolute shit? Leave it in the comment section below, let me know, and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy this video. That would be massively appreciated. Also, if you could subscribe to the channel as well, that would also be massively appreciated. We're looking to rebuild this channel now as we return to the channel in the last few weeks, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video, and yeah, see ya.